Hi, the Recaps duo here. The film kicks off with Gu Xiaojiao, a stunning 30-year-old woman living in Shanghai. She works in a jewelry store and has a backstory straight out of a soap opera. When she was 13, her father died in a car accident, and the company took back their house. Now, Gu's working herself to the bone, trying to earn enough money to buy that house back and cling to those memories. Then we meet Ming, our second main character. He's a 25-year-old property designer who's married to his work, but sadly, it's a one-sided love affair. No one's buying his ideas and he comes home every day, utterly defeated. Coincidentally, Gu and Ming head back to their apartments at the same time. And guess what? They live in the same apartment. Yep, you heard that right. One evening, Gu's tossing her clothes in the laundry while Ming's washing veggies for dinner. Suddenly, some of Ming's veggies start showing up in Gu's bathtub while she's taking a bath. Meanwhile, Gu's clothes magically appear in Ming's kitchen. Both of them are like, what the heck is going on? But they shrug it off and hit the sack. The next morning, Ming wakes up to a slap from Gu. She thinks he's some kind of creep who broke into her place. They argue, but soon realize something super weird is happening. Their apartments have merged. And here's the kicker. It's sunny on Gu's side and raining on Ming's side. They step out through Ming's door, and everything's normal in his world. But when they step out through Gu's door, Ming is gobsmacked. It's 2018, and the future is way cooler than he imagined. They eventually figure out their apartments are connected but stuck in different time zones. Gu's in 1999 and Ming's in 2018. They try to fix things by opening the door together, hoping everything will go back to normal. Instead, their apartment shrinks even more. Gu, thinking that since it's 1999 on Ming's side, her dad might still be alive, rushes out to find him. She actually sees him playing with her younger self, but before she can reach him, the ground starts shaking and she's forced back into the apartment. Ming then decides to look himself up in 2018. Gu tells him he can just Google himself, and Ming, who's new to this internet thing, gets super excited. But just as he's about to dig into his future, the ground starts shaking wildly again. They quickly realize they can't interact with their past or future without causing chaos. The scene shifts to a scientist telling a businessman that his dimension shift experiment worked, but he doesn't know where the time axes collided. The businessman, who is clearly funding this experiment, leaves without revealing much about himself. Back in the apartment, Gu opens up to Ming about how much she misses her dad. She shows him a keychain, the last memento she has of her father. Days pass, and they try to get used to their bizarre living situation. Gu starts using a dating app, hoping to find a rich guy who can help her buy back her father's house. She dates several men, but none of them work out. Then, an old man on the app claims to be a multimillionaire and promises to buy the house if she pays half the price as a deposit. Gu, desperate, withdraws her savings and hands them over. The man leaves to get a water bottle and never returns. Gu realizes she's been scammed when the police come to take her complaint. Meanwhile, Ming's having his own adventure. He's munching on snacks in the bathroom when he overhears his company's president and manager discussing a big project. After the president leaves, the manager reveals his evil plan to take over the company. He soon notices someone eavesdropping and he finds Ming. Trying to cover his tracks, the manager offers Ming money to keep quiet. They discuss it at the manager's desk, where the manager assumes Ming didn't hear everything. But Ming has heard it all and plans to help the president by exposing the manager's schemes. Later that day, while Gu is at the jewelry store, her friend Xiaoya drops by. Xiaoya, married to a wealthy man and living a high life, is someone Gu wants to impress. Gu, not wanting to feel left out, pretends she's also married to a successful businessman and is there to buy some jewelry. Xiaoya, buying the story, invites Gu and her husband to dinner at her place. Gu, now in a bit of a pickle, decides to go along with it and asks Ming to pose as her husband for the evening. When they arrive at Xiaoya's lavish home, things seem to be going smoothly until Xiaoya's husband spots a rent tag on Ming's coat. Thinking quickly, Ming says he's a UFO researcher who usually dresses casually. The night takes a turn for the worse when a fake diamond from Gu's jewelry falls onto a hot plate and melts. Embarrassed, they retreat back to their apartment, where Gu breaks down in tears over being exposed. Just then, they see a commercial for lottery tickets on TV and hatch a plan. They decide to buy a ticket in 1999 with numbers they know will win. Excited by their impending fortune, they start celebrating early, playing VR games, hitting up pubs, and dining at fancy restaurants. At one such restaurant, they realize they don't have any money to pay the bill, so Gu hands over her expensive bag to the cashier, promising to return and settle the bill the next day. When the lottery results are announced, they win. But before they can claim their prize, the winning numbers mysteriously vanish. Trying to get her bag back from the restaurant, Gu is told she must pay the bill first. Furious, she lashes out at Ming, blaming him for the mess. As they argue, Gu spots a billboard featuring Ming, now a successful businessman named Lu Shi, in 2018. Shocked, Ming decides to visit his future self. When Ming sees Lu, the ground starts shaking and their minds link. Lu begins having flashbacks of Ming and Gu, and when Ming injures his arm, Lu feels the pain and develops a scar. Realizing that their fates are intertwined, Lu understands that whatever happens to Ming affects him too. It's revealed that Lu is the businessman funding the dimension shift experiment. The scientist working on the project warns Lu that if Ming stays with Gu, his future success might be jeopardized. He advises keeping Ming and Gu apart to secure Lu's bright future. Ming, who just got a sneak peek at his future as a top-tier businessman, decides he's had enough of his dreary job and quits. Meanwhile, Lu, who's actually the future Ming, invites Gu out on a date. Gu's a bit weirded out since it's technically Ming but from the future. They spend a nice day together, wrapping up with dinner, where Lu gives her a friendly piece of advice: steer clear of current Ming to save his future. He even offers to buy her dad's house. Gu hesitates. She's starting to get the feels for Ming, but decides to distance herself for the greater good. Back at the apartment, she gives Ming a big, emotional hug and drops the bomb that she's leaving the next day. Cue the tears. But wait, Ming spots the door to 2018 left ajar and sneaks through before Gu can say goodbye. Classic Ming move. Next, we cut to the company president discovering his manager's diabolical plans. The manager, being the jerk he is, knocks out the president, forces him to drink wine, and plans to make it look like an accident. Real classy. Meanwhile, Gu's living the dream at her dad's house. Lu, future Ming, shows up, returns her bag, and thanks her for helping Ming's future. But Gu notices a rent tag on his coat and realizes he's actually Ming. She rushes to him. They share a heartfelt kiss, and Ming leaves her in tears. It's a classic case of right person, wrong time. Later, Ming gets a call from the president asking him to meet at a bridge. The manager, up to no good, wants Ming's help to kill the president. Ming, seeing the future implications, turns him down. Moreover, he spots Gu's dad's key in the president's car and realizes the president's actually Gu's dad, Zhang. Killing him would make Gu an orphan, so Ming steps in to save him. By rejecting his future self's ruthless ways and saving Zhang, Ming causes his evil 2018 version to disappear. Gu's father remains alive, meaning she won't be an orphan. In the end, Ming and Gu find themselves back in their own time zones. They race to meet each other, but, tragically, Gu disappears just as they get close. And that's where our story wraps up. Will they ever get their happy ending? Only time will tell. If you enjoyed this recap and want more epic recaps and fun content, hit that like button and subscribe to the Recaps Duo YouTube channel. Catch you in the next one.